What's up, guys? I'm Antonio with Consensus Digital Media's EV Wrap-Up, giving you the latest in EV news. Let's get started. So now that we have all these electric vehicles debuting, not to mention sustainable initiatives from multiple companies, we need to charge these things, right? If the country's automotive industry goes entirely electric by 2035, that would mean Americans would need 26 million new charging outlets installed across the country in our homes, apartment buildings, offices, or roadside charging stations, all within the next 10 years. This network of charging stations and easier access to home and work charging would be a necessity as the U.S. accelerates towards electromobility. And that is why it's a prioritized subject in the nation's big infrastructure bill. The proposed legislation promises to have at least 500 devices installed across the country by 2030, and there is much discussion that a good amount of them will be the fast charging versions. What do we need charging stations for? Batteries, duh, which is where a few other players come in this week on the download. So over here in this corner, we have General Motors partnering with LG, which is the company that made my first ever slide phone. Anyway, they're investing $2.3 billion in a battery cell plant in Tennessee, which will support the production of GM's upcoming Cadillac Lyriq crossover. Very pretty. And then in this corner, we have BMW joining Volkswagen in the race for next generation EV batteries. Most of the batteries linked to EVs are lithium-ion batteries, and these contain a liquid component. Now, because a liquid has properties that need to heat up, creating power for a vehicle, it does come with a little bit of a safety precaution. BMW and Volkswagen are on a mission to find a battery solution that is a solid state, eliminating the liquid components entirely. This would improve the performance by adding range to the vehicle, it would lower charging time, and it would increase safety, making it a pretty desirable result. Many American companies like QuantumScape are working on a solid-state innovation that could end up solving this problem. There continue to be rumors about Apple, and I wanted to make sure you stayed in the loop. As I've talked about in my past videos, there's been talk of an Apple EV since as early as 2014. We know they're cooking up something, but nobody knows exactly what that is. But in a recent article, Car and Driver talked about a possible Apple deal with Canadian manufacturer Magna, as well as the maker of my slide phone LG, which would be the supplier of the batteries. Now, all three companies declined to speak on the matter, which makes me want to believe it's some big secret, but it's still too early to fully commit to the conspiracy theory. Another contender trying to take that EV throne is stepped up to the plate. Who is it? Audi, and their Q4 e-tron, which sounds like a Decepticon's cousin or something. The Q4 e-tron is a modest-sized SUV starting around $50,000, and Audi unveiled the SUV last week to compete in the fast-growing market of compact crossover SUVs up against Tesla's Model Y. The Q4 e-tron will offer fast charging capabilities up to 125 kilowatts, and Audi said they even expect the vehicle to come with a little bit of free charging at Volkswagen Group's Electrify America charging stations. The car comes with optional steering wheel configurations and adjustable regenerative braking settings, letting the owner decide how much kicks in after the gas pedal's let off. This is expected to be available to the public in late 2021. And in the weekly wrap-up, we have Maserati's Stellantis unveiling its hybrid version of the Levante large sports utility SUV. Now, they didn't commit to the electric aspects as much as they could have, but they combined a 4-cylinder, 2-liter engine with a 48-volt hybrid system to help the engine out. There isn't a plug-in component because Maserati's head of product development claimed that it would add too much weight to the car, hurting the performance, but he did come back and remind the press of their fully electric Gran Turismo, planned to debut next year. Like all those who cover EVs, we talk a lot about Tesla, and given the tragedy last week in Texas, we just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the families and friends affected by the incident. That's all we have for you this week on the Business Download EV Wrap-Up. I'm Antonio. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what we have in store for next week.